The spate of insecurity in Nigeria at the moment has become a major concern for citizens both in the country and outside of this nation. One of the major issues right now is the proscription of the Islamic movement in Nigeria, Boko Haram activities that we saw during the weekend, and a lot of other issues concerning security. Now, to have that conversation here on Root Cause, I am joined by the former FCT Commissioner of Police. He's also a lawyer in the person of Lawrence Adobe. Welcome, sir.
Thank you for having me. Good afternoon.
It's great to have you. Let's start, first of all, with what happened on Friday. The Federal High Court here in Abuja proscribed the Islamic movement in Nigeria. And even as we know at the moment, they have gone back to court to challenge that prescription. So what are your thoughts surrounding this? Because there's a lot of debate. Should the court have done that, or should the court not have done that?
The court was approached through an expected application to prescribe a group, and that was done on the basis that this group has been seen to be a very a group that threatens the sovereignty, internal security, and national security of this country. I mean, for them, they believe in violence. If you recall back when it happened in Kaduna, when the Chief of Minister convoy was being blocked by them, the brigade of Nigerian army came to speak to them and appeal to them. They didn't listen. I can also recall what happened 2 or 3 weeks ago at the National Assembly, where cars were bombed. They moved to the National Assembly. The police tried to prevent them peacefully. The police blocked the gate. They surged in and broke the gate and went and bought so many cars belonging to innocent citizens. Then a few days ago also, the third incident that happened in Abuja, where the Commissioner of Police was killed, copper was killed, and at the Federal Secretariat near the NEMA operational vehicles were burnt down. So no government will sit down and see this kind of activities by a group that feels that it doesn't honor and respect our government, a group that says that it does not believe in our laws, a group that feels that they don't recognize our own government. They are loyal to the government outside the shores of this country. No government can accept that. You see, the issue of law, rule of law is not only for government and institutions of government, agents of government, also we individuals. That's why they say who postulated that concept of rule of law. Law has a universal application to all citizens, to everybody, to all of us, to the individuals, the organizations, government agencies, and government itself, and even the court. So the rule of law is applicable to everybody. It's not restrictive, it's not selective.
And based on that as well, the IMN has gone to court to challenge the prescription of their group. Now, do they have a grounds to do that? That's number one. Number two, just like you said that the law applies to everyone, can they actually challenge this? And number two, what is a possibility of them getting it overturned?
Yeah, I don't want to preempt the action of the court, but if they feel they have the right, they have grounds to appeal, and they have reasonable grounds to appeal, but now they've been proscribed. And when they are proscribed, I don't think you cannot legalize illegality. Legalizing and someone who does not, because one, they don't recognize our government, they don't support our laws. And when you don't obey the law, you see, laws are meant to guide our conduct and behavior. And if they say that they don't believe in our government, they don't believe in our laws, and then how can the law then protect them? How can they come to seek the courts of Nigeria to give them protection, give them access, or listen to them and give them that protection or enforce their rights.
So in your own opinion, they don't even have the grounds to approach the court on this matter?
Because right now they've been proscribed. And for me, I think the government took the right decision. You see, so those of our colleagues who say it's an immoral act, it's unconstitutional, no government will tolerate a government within a government. Every government, Section 14B of the Constitution, provides that the primary purpose of government is security and the well-being of the citizens. And it has been proven that this group strengthened the well-being of this country through their actions. And we are told that it's also based on that they are loyal to a foreign government.
Which is the Iranian
Which
government.
Iranian government it is a notorious fact, and they don't hide it, and they no government will tolerate that. You see, we need to protect our sovereignty, and the law is there to protect the citizens if the citizens obey the law. You know, look, Rootstv, John Locke, and Thomas Hobbes, they postulated that it's called constitutional contract. The state has a duty to protect, to ensure the security and life and property of the citizens, and the citizens also have an obligation to forgo sacrifice some of their rights to enable the state provide security for the state. So you see, life is based on principle of reciprocity. If you want to enjoy your rights, there's also a corresponding obligation. Rights are not, freedom is not enjoyed in a vacuum. You must enjoy your rights in a safe and secure environment.
All right, let's talk about Boko Haram. At the moment, we just heard over the weekend they unleashed mayhem and killed mourners at a funeral. We have also heard reports over and over of what Boko Haram has been doing in the past few weeks. Now, we have heard the government continue to reiterate that they are winning the war against terror, against Boko Haram. But the more these reports come out of them killing people, sacking communities, especially in the northeast, a lot of Nigerians are beginning to doubt the president and the administration's hold or the ability to handle the situation. What are your thoughts in this regard?
You see, when crises are enacted by a group of people like Boko Haram, for instance, it's not something you fight in one day. It takes time. It takes some resources. It takes some effort. So that the Boko Haram still probably some raid their ugly heads in some soft spots and attack innocent citizens, worshippers, and so forth, doesn't mean that the government is not doing anything. I think the government and security agencies are really doing their best, and I'm sure with time, the issue of Boko Haram will be a thing of the past. But we need to be patient with the government. We citizens also need to know that we also have a role to contribute, because the citizens are the prime beneficiary of a safe and secure environment. The government, as provided on Section 14, that the primary post of government is security and well-being of citizens. And the government is also concerned. That's why the government is taking this step to proclaim this group, because the group constitutes a threat to the peace and security of public peace and security of Nigerians. Cars are being burned, accidents being committed, people are being killed. Look at the right day, the deputy commissioner of police was killed, who even went to persuade them, to appeal to them, please let us be peaceful, disperse peacefully. They refused to listen.
But,
and that kind of situation, you see, no government will tolerate that. Where there's lawlessness, criminality, terrorist acts, and right now they have an ideology which is not in tandem with our national values and national.
It's interesting that you bring this in, because a lot of things have been said back and forth, the government and IMN. You did talk about the fact that this assistant commissioner of police was killed. The assistant deputy commissioner of police was killed. Did you know him?
Of course. Humble, very humble officer, fine officer.
Painful. Sorry,
yeah, very
loss
painful,
on that.
Yeah.
Now, the Islamic movement of Nigeria have said that they didn't go into that protest with arms, that he was killed by friendly fire. Obviously, he was killed by police officers who probably were trying to shoot them or to disperse them. Now, there's no autopsy done. Based on his religion, he has been buried, and that may not be substantiated. But is that a possibility that he could have been killed by friendly fire?
Not at all. You see, when you're in a riot situation, they like in a war, riot situation, the target is in front of you, target is not behind you. You have to face the target. So they cannot come and now shooting from the back when they are facing the riot. So, and they are also facing opposite direction.
But you said he went to speak to the Shiites, to the IMN.
No, but that's why because I had the ability to talk to shoot him. If he had gone there with maximum force, he couldn't have done that. He went there as a calm, peaceful, loving person, went to persuade them, to appeal to them, using persuasion to appeal to them. But he was shot. So that, like somebody saying that, how do you think that the commander, he led the operation, the deputy commissioner led the operation, how then do you think that his officers of Nigerian police would fire their commander? For what? No reason.
No, but of course they weren't trying to kill him, but like they said, it was friendly fire. So are you saying probably when he was backing away from them, he got shot?
But it is, I think from the records, evidence we have, it was shot by the Shiite group. not by a police officer.
By the evidence that you have?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on a little bit away from that, and let's talk about Grace Taku. She is one of the aid workers who was captured by Boko Haram,
we have families,
terrorists. We really
some
do
of
not
us
know
have children.
The Caliphate Army of the Caliphate or something of that nature.
Yeah.
A video just came out just a few days back, and Grace, as well as 5 other aid workers, were pleading for their lives. Now, in as much as we have talked a lot about that video and analyzed it, but there is something that has continued to strike out like a sore thumb. Grace appealed to Khan, appealed to her employer, but did not appeal first to the Nigerian government and to the Nigerian army to come rescue her. Do you think it is because she has lost, or they as hostages may have lost confidence in the Nigerian government and the Nigerian army to secure them? Why target Khan? Why target their employers?
You know, because they are employees of the employer. They feel the employer more concerned because he's working for them. And they feel they know because they appeal to Khan using the sentiment as a Christian, they use that sentiment. Not that they love confidence in the government or the army or the class.
Why would they feel that Khan would be more interested in getting them their employers? They are Nigerian citizens. In fact, when you hold an American, the first thing they say is an American citizen, and they appeal to their government directly. Why would Grace and the others be more
in this country,
confident?
our loyalty is more to our subgroups. That I see, because they believe more in the Khan, because they know Khan can come out to protect and defend them, but not that they have lost confidence in the government. So due to how things are happening in this country, people are more loyal to the primordial groups than the larger society. Because they believe the primordial groups are more attached to them, emotional attachment to them, and so forth. So that he is appealing to Khan and his employer doesn't mean that he has no confidence in the government or the security agencies.
Interesting. Now, when we look at the rate of captives who have been killed by terrorist groups in particular who have captured them, we can see a significant, even not a significant number, but we have heard of situations where the captives have been killed by their terrorist captors. Based on what we have, what is the confidence level that you have as a police officer that Grace and the other 5 will be returned or be brought back alive?
Yeah. You see, sometimes God prevails in their conscience. If maybe sometimes pressure from the international community, sometimes too they feel that those souls are innocent souls, they don't need to be killed. They may say, okay, let's release them and so forth. And sometimes through dialogue too, but you see, terrorism should not be tolerated. There's no tolerance to terrorism because they don't. For them, violence is their subculture. They believe in threatening, causing fear, threatening the government, embarrassing the government, and embarrassing people. So I hope so that.
So we're basically hoping.
We're hoping that we pray that conscience will prevail on them to see that these are innocent workers who are just there to serve the society.
That's extremely dicey with hope and prayer in this situation because in of course in hostage situations you can't exactly tell what is going on in the mind of the criminal who has got them. But in some situations in a lot of situations, especially outside of the country, most people have confidence. Don't worry, we've got our army here. But in Nigeria, we are more of hoping and praying. That's a scary thought.
The military is also doing its best because in spite of the challenges they have in terms of equipment, they're also doing the best. But I'm sure with time, we have hope. We should be confident and optimistic that they will be released, all things being equal.
Amen. Okay, so finally, let's talk about security situation across the states. We've seen a lot of issues, headsmen issues, bandits, a lot of other security issues in individual states and so on. Now, information we have is that several states, example, Lagos, Osun, Ondo, Lagos, or rather Anambra, Kaduna, at least 5 of these states have been trying to get drones, acquire the approval to use drones to be able to have an aerial view of what's going on in their states and of course help them fight kidnappers and other kinds of criminality. But we also hear that these states for as long as 2 years have been trying to secure approvals from this from the NCAA and of course Office of the National Security Advisor. So why, when we know how important it is and how crucial it is for these states to probably have drones to help them fight their insecurity issues. Why not give them these approvals? Why wait so long?
Yeah, you see, bureaucracy, the bureaucratic processes, it takes so long. There are some processes that need to be met. Maybe they have not been able to meet those conditions. And I think actually security and policing is technologically driven in the 21st century today, and they need those things. I also appeal to those who ought to act, the NSA and National Commission to act, because it's a need, and that need affects the life and property of the Nigerian citizens and our internal security. And also I think that's what Mr. President can also use his veto power to direct on the governors not to delay action, because it is the section 14B of the Constitution provides that the prime purpose of government is security and the well-being of the citizens. And if that has been, the governor took an oath of office, and that's part of to uphold the Constitution, and that is constitutional provision which they are supposed to uphold. And I think Mr. President can also in this case intervene. I also want to use something to also appeal to Mr. President. The 8th National Assembly were able to pass the Police Trust Fund Bill, which is awaiting Mr. President's assent. If that bill, if Mr. President assents to that bill, to be a milestone contribution to enhance our internal security, empower the police, and also become an alternative means of funding the police, because policing and security is capital intensive. The government has a lot of competing needs, and that Police Trust Fund Bill will go a long way and lifting the problem of the police in terms of funding, in terms of training, in terms of equipment, like talk about drones, for instance, and all these things. So I want to appeal to Mr. President to do his best to assent to that bill. If that bill is assented, to go a long way in making our police more effective. If the police is strengthened, the issue of internal security will be seriously checked.
Okay, sorry, not to push you further on this. You said there are some conditions that these states will have to fulfill before they're able to allow to man drones or fly drones and use them for security purposes. What are some of those conditions? Can you tell us?
Yeah, those conditions are not supposed to be for public consumption.
I see.
Because these are security issues, not that supposed to be classified information. So the National Security Office, they know what to do. They are also concerned about security of the country. I'm sure they will do the needful to ensure these things are procured to enhance our security architecture in the country.
Thank you so much, Lawrence Alobi, for taking our time to talk to Rootstv. We are grateful for your perspective.
Thank you for having me.
All right. So you have heard all the issues that we have discussed right here on Root Cause. We will encourage you. We are encouraging you to go to our comment section and give us your thoughts on all that have been discussed. My name is Gloria Oje, and stay right here on Rootstv Nigeria.